everybody. So welcome to Relentless Talk Radio's the first episode of Relentless Bikers. I'm super excited today because this show has actually been like kind of like a, I don't know, it's been kind of a in the making thing for about 6 months now. So Alicia, I'm super excited. You're my first chick. You're my first biker chick on Relentless Bikers.
Awesome.
This whole thing was about celebrating motorcycle culture, and you and I just met. So I'm super excited to learn more about you. So tell everybody who you are and a little bit about yourself.
Cool. Hi, everybody. My name is Alicia. I'm part of the Pheonix Moto Girls.
Yay.
I'm a part of the Pheonix Moto Girls. I was born and raised here in Arizona. So I'm a native. Only a handful of us are actually from here. I live in the East Valley, and I just try and get out and ride as much as I can.
So you've been riding you're kind of a new rider, kind of theoretically, right? How long have you been riding?
So I'm a new driver, yes. I've been riding on the back all my life. A few years ago, I decided I kind of needed to take control and be in the driver's seat, and I fell in love with it, and I haven't been on the back since. Basically.
That's a lot of this, isn't it? I think that it's interesting because I started riding on the back too, but I actually fell in love with motorcycles when I was about 5. My godfather had a Harley and his nephew had a Harley. And there was one summer where I call him my cousin Johnny, but theoretically he wasn't. He came up from Jersey because he got into a little bit of trouble.
No.
And he came up on this amazing chopper, you know what I mean? And I was like, oh, what is that, right? So my love of motorcycles started because the original bad boy showed up in Vermont on a chopper. That's what happened.
Awesome.
And so that's how it happened for me. So what did you ride when you first started?
So my first bike, when I went into my motorcycle class, I used one of their training bikes. And about a week after that, I went in and ended up buying my first bike, which is a Harley. It's an 07 Sportster, the Nightster, the 1200. So that was nice because it was bigger, but it wasn't too big. But I still had, that extra pep if I needed it or if I needed to get out of a situation. I felt like I wasn't going to be bogged down, but I'd have the power I needed. And I always love extra power. So I'm like, okay, go big or go home. So I was like, sure, I could do it. No problem. So that was actually my first bike.
I actually started off with a Softail. So I just figured, and I'm looking for a picture of you on your bike that I downloaded this morning. So I just figured, just go with a big bike right from the gate. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so what do you ride now?
So now I still have my Sporty. That's my love. I'll never get rid of that. I still got my Sporty, and I just got my Slim, my new Softail Slim. It's a 2019. It's got the Milwaukee 8 motor in it, and oh man, I love that thing.
So there's amazing.
It's such a great unique feeling, and this one, once I went to Babes on my Sporty, I kind of felt like I had outgrown it. I mean, I loved it, and I feel, like I know it like the back of my hand. But with this Softail Slim, man, I just feel like it's a whole nother adventure. It's awesome.
Now, you're kind of a peanut, aren't you?
I am. I'm only about 5 foot, so I've got some vertical challenges.
Because you came actually out to my first biker ride.
Yeah, when we went out to Wickenburg.
And I thought, there's a little girl on a big bike. I love her. I loved her immediately. I'm like, wow, good for her. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a little searching. I had to kind of, find something. I didn't want to have to buy a bike and then do a whole bunch of modifications to make it fit. And so a lot of the bikes that I tried, that was an issue because my legs wouldn't reach the pedals, or I didn't feel like I was comfortable enough on the ground. And that's one of my things is I have to be able to have both feet on the ground. That way I can move my bike on my own if I need to. And so it was kind of challenging.
You're not on your tippy toes, right?
But there's options. What's that?
Are you on your tippy toes or are you on your full flat foot?
I'm flat-footed with my riding boots on. With my tennies on, I'm a little on my tippy toes, but with my boots on, I'm fully flat-footed.
We know a girl that rides that's a little peanut, and she wears super tall heels, and she's up on her toes. And I think to myself, wow. I'm not sure if I'm like worried or impressed. I mean, like, wow, right? But having your feet on the ground and having good shoe gear is super important.
Mm-hmm.
I have a pair of boots that I love. I've had them for, it's scary to say, but I've had them for 38 years. I bought them at one of my first bike rallies. They're super comfortable and they're super cute. But they have they're slippery. And every time I forget and I ride them again, I'm like, because then, if you get into any stones or anything and your feet aren't flat, it's not good. No. It's not good. So I'm an old lady. I got to keep my glasses on. I'm looking at my notes over here. So, so what's the thing that you love the most about being a biker?
I'd say first, there's a couple of things, but I'd say first, I just like the feeling, just that freedom that you're riding. You don't have any strings attached. You don't have this big old car with all this stuff like barricading you in. You're just out in the open and in the moment. And I pretty much just let go mentally. So that's like my free time. That's my peace. That's my zen. So that's the first thing I like about it. And then the second thing that I like, which I didn't know until I started writing, was really the sisterhood and all the girls that I meet. Like, it's amazing how many women ride, and there's so many from different walks of life, and, some who are new writers and some who are old writers, and it's just so great to get all that wisdom and the knowledge that they have, and then to just share these adventures with all of these women who, we all have a love for writing, but we're all so different, but we all have that core that brings us together of the motorcycles.
So I'll tell you that Pheonix is a little unusual in that case. So when I started riding when I was 18, I'm in the back, right? And then I bought my own bike when I was 29 or so. It was me and like 500 guys, which I don't mind those. I don't mind that. I'm kind of like a boy girl, you know what I mean? I don't mind that. But still, there's not as many women riders collectively in one spot as there is in Pheonix. Pheonix has a really unique motorcycle biker chick culture. And now that I'm back on two wheels again, it's even more so than 3 years ago. Like 3 years ago, there wasn't as many people. And now there's like literally thousands of us that are riding together. And there's many groups, and Pheonix Motor Girls is one of the groups. We're going to be talking with Win Sisters and Lolitas and I want to say Lolita. I want to say Lolita like the yeah, right. There's something psychological about that. But there's a lot of really great female riding groups around, and I love that because traditionally, coming up, I'm 53. I'm a couple of years older than you. It was more of a male-dominated culture. And what would happen is if you got lucky to ride on the back of someone's bike, when that relationship didn't work out, you were just ejected from the culture. And I've always said to anybody that I ride with, I come to the table of my own merit.
Yeah.
If you're privileged to ride the motorcycle that I'm riding on, it's a privilege that you have me on the back of your bike. Because I ride my own damn bike, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, and you know what I'm talking about, right?
I do.
There used to only be, and you used to ride the bike too, so you know. And there's nothing wrong with being a chick that rides in the back, by the way. I enjoy it back there when I'm riding with somebody that I care about for sure. But I think it's important for women to stake their claim in the motorcycle culture independently of a dude. Now, that being said, you have a dude in your life who you brought into the culture, actually. He wasn't even riding when you met him, and I'm going to go see if I can find him.
No. I mean, he rode dirt bikes, but he didn't, have any Harleys, didn't have any street bikes, didn't have his license. Gosh, we've been together for 11 years now, and I'd say probably about 3-4 years ago is when, we took the step to get the motorcycle license and do the class. And then, you know, I've got a couple of bikes now, so he kind of rides and rides my bike as well so that we can still go out together. And he's falling in love with it as well. He loves, you know, being on the bike. He likes going out. He loves all the girls, the Pheonix Moto girls. He's gone with us on some of our trips. So he's out of
it. Panty Raider, is what you're saying?
What's that?
He's a Panty Raider. That's what we call a Panty Raider.
Yeah.
He's rating the chick event. We have a couple people. I ride with the whole sober crew of people, and the group of the sober girls that I ride with, we call our group Heels on Wheels, which is going to be changing because there's other people who have that name, so to be announced. Yeah. But one of the husbands of the girls, Greg, came a couple weeks ago, and we called him a Panty Raider. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's there. He's seen all kinds of stuff that, you know, usually you don't see unless you're actually out there with us. And we do have co-ed rides and stuff, but I mean, even then, there's really only a handful of guys that really go with us. We've even had rides where, you know, we've gone and there have been a lot of guys, and then the guys drop out because there's just so many women that they're like, I don't know if they're just overwhelmed or like too much estrogen, but they're like, hey, sorry, you know, just wanted to let you guys know I made it home okay. I'll go out with you guys another time. So I feel like, you know, it's an intimidating factor when we're all together, and it's strong and it's powerful and it's exhilarating, and I love it.
That's hilarious. You know, one of the things I noticed that's different between, all right, I'm going to say some male riders, not all male riders, but I think that women, we might have to stop to pee more often. I'll say that, but we do ride longer distances, I think.
Yeah. Well, I think
my women rider friends are distance riders. They're not bar riders. And again, nothing wrong with that. Riding from bar to bar, it's fun. But as long as you're not over drinking people, you know, but it's, a lot of my female riders are riders like me. Like I've ridden across country 3 times, and some of my men friends have never ridden more than 100 miles in one sitting. So, and that's not true for everybody. We're going to talk to Lee next, Lee Geip, and he's ridden in every state. The only one he has left to do is Alaska.
Oh, wow. That is amazing. That is so awesome. Yeah. I'm excited because I just got to California last year for Babe. So that would be so awesome to see the whole country. I'm going to get more states under my belt, but that's got to be awesome. He's probably got so many adventures and pictures and everything to have just traveled that far.
Ridden across country, it's amazing to me that people did this on horseback. Like when
I wonder that too sometimes. Like, wow, how long did it actually take?
Yeah, I mean, like riding through Ohio and New Mexico and through California, I think to myself, people were on, you know, families with children in buggy, you know, horse and buggy kind of situations. It's just amazing to me. I think when you're on a motorcycle, you feel the size of the country more. You know what I mean? So we were going to talk a little bit more about Pheonix Moto Girls.
Yeah, Pheonix Moto Girls.
I love the Pheonix Moto Girls. So it was founded by a niece. Is that
Anise? Anise Gerlach, and I may be saying that incorrectly. Yes, her name is Anise. She is one of the first girls that when I first got my bike, I had wanted to find others who were girls who had rode too, because I didn't want to be like the funky girl out in like a big group of guys, And so I did. I went looking for other girls. I found Anise's group. Right away she was just like, "Hey, what do you need? When do you want to go out? Like, we can go practice." Her and Paula really helped me. There's a handful of girls. Who were just kind of there for me, whether I wanted to just kind of go in the parking lot or go down by the river or go on the freeway for the first time. It's like those things are like the little steps that you get to actually going on these full long distance rides. And so I definitely took my baby steps, and I don't know if I'd be where I am today if it wasn't for those girls. They've really helped me out a lot. And some of them, are part of my tribe now, even more than just like motorcycles. I mean, we're like soul sisters. We just all kind of connect and stay together even outside of motorcycles. So it's really amazing. They've really helped out a lot. I love having the support.
I'm getting face cramp because I'm thinking about Jennifer Mo. So she was on Relentless Talk Radio a couple weeks ago, and she nominated you, actually. She is just a flippin' hoot. So first of all, she's a professional boxer.
Oh yeah.
And she's not as vertically challenged as you are, but she's probably just a couple inches taller, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I would mess with her, all 5'8" of me, right? She's something. But she's just hilarious. And I think that's one of the things I just love about the women's culture and the biker culture generally, okay? We are funny.
Yeah, there's not really boring people that ride.
We just have a good time. And Jessica said to me before the interview, she goes, so, can I curse? And I'm like, well, I'm not like an official radio show, so you can curse. I mean, if they censor us later, I guess, you know, when I curse away. So she's like, fucking A, you know? She's hilarious. So we're having a Halloween parade. Talk about that, because I have to tell you about my costume in a minute. But okay. I'll show you some pictures of what I'm losing my mind here with the pictures. Okay. I'm gonna show you some pictures, I think. If I can find them. I hit them. I can't wait for the Halloween thing. So tell everybody about the Halloween thing.
Yes, I'm super excited about that. We've got a Halloween ride coming up. It's going to be a full moon that night, so it's going to be really awesome. We're going to get together, decorate our bikes, and then we're going to do like a downtown route, kind of go downtown, go see everybody. You know, just go right around, be all like decorated and dressed up and stuff, and ride around Pheonix a little bit, and probably end up at a party over at Jessica's. Actually, she's going to have a Halloween party. So, hey, party at Jessica's house.
It's crazy to have a party at her house like that.
It's going to be amazing. It's going to be a bunch of biker chicks, girls, guys. You know, we're just going to have a lot of fun and have a good time like always.
So I'm super excited about it because I've always been like a Halloween person. And I just love Halloween. I like dressing up.
Yeah.
I have shitty years in my saddlebags. I wear them. I do. I love this hat by Syndicate Apparel. Isn't it cute?
I love it.
I have to get you one. They have one that says fucker underneath it too.
Oh, shit. I know. Well, I wasn't sure if this was appropriate. I don't know if you can see. I got my Pheonix Moto Girls shirt on. Can you read it?
If you're gonna ride my ass, at least pull my hair.
So, we like to have fun, you know. And you know, there's so many people who ask me like where they can buy this shirt, and they don't even ride or anything. I'm like out walking on the street.
Hilarious. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. It's true that, you know, we'll get back to Halloween in a minute, but it's true. If you're behind a biker, please get off our butt. Because guess what? You rear-end us.
Right.
You hurt us.
Yeah. I can't stop this fast.
But it's absolutely true that bikers die often from being rear-ended. We're just stopped at a stoplight and someone doesn't see us. So, you know, definitely be careful when you're at stoplights to not kill us. We kind of like living.
We like
just saying on cars. And one of my best friend's brother was killed that way. He was stopped at a parking stoplight.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, it just people just not realizing, and you know, especially, and sometimes people don't even realize when they cause things that cause accidents and stuff behind them, and then they just keep going. So it's just really good for everybody to be aware, anyways. But
super aware.
Stay off my ass.
Yeah, because get off my ass because the pavement wins. I always lose when I hit the pavement. It's just the way it goes. So the Halloween thing, I'm going to be a Vegas showgirl.
Oh, yay! Awesome.
So Gail Friend and I, Gail Friend is a designer. Gail Friend Design and I are going to work together on creating this ridiculously like crazy, amazing
like the feather hats,
thing.
Like the
right. And I think I found the fabricator for the metal. And I'm gonna wear it. So we're doing this for kids. So I'm gonna try to find like somewhat appropriate, but yet still kind of captured unitard, you know, cat suit to wear. And I'm probably gonna wear heels that day and somehow try not to kill myself on them, you know, just to be cute. And I'm gonna have you know, just crazy makeup.
Oh my gosh, that's gonna be so much fun. It's gonna be so exciting.
And then Annette Bennett, Annette,
no problem.
I was going to say Bennett, but I'm probably saying it wrong, is going to do the photography. And we're going to be a really fun photo shoot. So we're going to utilize her for Halloween to take some really cool pictures of us. So she's pretty awesome. So the reason why we're doing it is because Halloween has kind of been shut down by COVID. And so believe it or not, people, I know that bikers have gotten a really bad rep from the whole Sturgis thing. But when we were on our bikes, we are actually socially distancing. We're 6 feet apart. Many of us are masked up even when we're riding. And even when we get together afterwards at Jessica's, the reason why we're doing it is because she has a giant backyard. We have masks on. We are respectful to each other. And we won't have a huge crowd there afterwards. So we're being respectful of the COVID situation and trying as best we can to congregate in a way that's safe for all. And most importantly, keep the kids looking forward to something.
Right. Yes, and I'll be taking my kiddos. I've got 3 kiddos that I'm going to be taking trick-or-treating for. In our neighborhood, you know, we have some people who are still doing it and who do want to do it and stuff. But yeah, you know, just like you were saying about just being respectful, basically, you know, and socially and stuff. I know for me, I do make that effort to still go out so that I can stay sane by seeing my friends and doing my rides, but then, you know, masking up when necessary and being socially distant to respect the others around us, you know. So I think that's important also, but it's going to be fun just to kind of see everybody too, because everybody has kind of been, you know, like caged in a little bit. And so it'd be nice to do it in a safe way.
We suck at being caged in. That's why we're bikers. So today, because this is the first episode, we wanted to talk about in the beginning when you first got your motorcycle. I remember my ride vividly. Do you remember your first ride? Like the first time you got on the bike solo?
So I remember my first meaningful ride being my first group ride, which happened, I'd say, a couple of months after I got my bike. After I'd done, you know, the streets and parking lots and neighborhood. My first group ride, with the Pheonix Moto girls, we had went out to go and meet the Tucson Moto girls. And when we were out riding, there was like about halfway, and I was in the back because it was my first group ride. So I was, you know, kind of nervous, like, hey, you know, let me take it back. Let me just follow your guys' lead. You know, about halfway, then all of a sudden there's like these 10, 15 bikers that come behind me. So there's lights and rattling and you know, just everything and the excitement. And at first I'm like, oh my gosh, like these guys are gonna run me over or something, you know? Because I mean, it's a big feeling, and when there's a group of them, like it's different than when you just see somebody riding down the road. So then I look over and I see it's the Tucson Moto girls, and you know, in that moment, I felt like that was my like completeness. That was what I was looking for. That sisterhood, like they were there like to ride with me, and I was a part of that. And you know, there was about 20 of us that had went, and you know, I still ride with them to this day. And so it's just amazing, that sense of completeness. I think that satisfaction there.
That's hilarious. When I bought my Softail, I called my ex-boyfriend, like every biker trip does. And I said, hey, I just bought a Softail. He said, what? I said, I just bought a Softail. He goes, what do you mean? So back then you had to put an order in for a bike, and I had an order in for a bike in Plattsburgh, but I had just moved back to Vermont, and someone had decided not to keep their order. And my Ruby, my red Softail was on the floor. And so I just scooped it up. And I remember bringing my dad in there, and my dad was like, are you kidding me? My poor parents, they were so not prepared for me. They had a very straight-laced Irish and Italian Catholic family, and here, you know, nut job, crazy, overeducated, you know, crazy person, right? And so, my dad came in like the day that I signed the papers, and he was like, okay, here we go. So my boyfriend came up and drove
something.
He drove it off the lot for me. So the first time I got on Ruby, I was on the back of her.
Oh.
And he brought me to a parking lot. Okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. So on the way there, he's teaching me how to ride, right? So before I was just he's like, this and that and the other thing, right? And I'm like, okay, check. We get to the parking lot, which is right by the house I was renting in Winooski, and we drive around the parking lot literally 3 times. The second time I dropped her.
Oh, shit.
She's less than 2 years old. Boom. It hit the front brake, probably, maybe, I don't know. I hit stones. To this day, stones, like, I'm humbled by stones because I was up and poof, I was down. It just, and thank God I had just a scratch on the tank. It could have mutilated the tank, like the first day I owned her. He was so mad at me. But then I rode around the lot one more time after I fell. And then I just rode in the traffic.
Oh.
So now I think to myself, when everyone, you know, reaches out to, like, I took a motorcycle safety course, and I did take a motorcycle safety course.
Yeah.
And but I had my permit. I didn't even have my license yet. I still had my permit, and I rode in traffic. And my boyfriend was screaming, "What the F are you doing?" He was losing his mind in the parking lot, right? And I just remember pulling into traffic and being like, "Oh, why have I put this off so long? This is flipping awesome."
Oh man.
And my first group ride was like literally a week later. Okay. There's 50 of us that ride back east. We call ourselves Misfits, and we come from all over the country.
Awesome.
And we would meet at our friend Mike's house. And to this day, I'm still friends with these guys. I'm looking at the time here. And so they said, "Michelle, come with us." I met one of them at the Harley Owner Group. Awesome thing, Harley Owner Group, which, by the way, this episode is sponsored by Buddy Stubbs, and they do have a Harley Owner Group. I can't wait to visit them. So I went and I met my friend Jim, and he invited me, and I thought, well, why not? So I took off to the Harley Rendezvous with 50 old school bikers.
Awesome.
Having never done a ride before. And this is always called lovingly the rendezvous because it always rains. and so I don't know if you've ridden the ridiculous rain yet. It rained the kind where it's like knives sticking in your face kind of rain. And you helmet law in Vermont, right? So I can't see. My glasses are fogged up. My helmet's it's miserable, cold. It's my first group ride. And I start singing Frere Jacques. If you hear me singing Frere Jacques, it's because I'm afraid. Okay. So like,
oh shit! I better hold on if I hear that.
From like all the way down Route 9 to Schuylerville, which is like,
oh my gosh,
it was crazy. And then every year for 10 years, I went back with those guys. You know what? Those guys are still friends with me on Facebook. In fact, one of them just joined my team with my nutrition partner. It was amazing. And every year I got a little bit better, but man, I always tell new riders, first of all, don't do it like that. super stupid. Okay. But you know, I was just getting sober then. So I still had a lot of crazy in me. So I just had no, but the reality, what pissed me off about the first year of riding was that I had fear. I was fearless on the back. I would do a handstand on the street.
No, it's all fun, you know. It is. It's a different feeling after you cross that to where you're actually the driver, and being on the back is like different, and then driving is different. Like you don't just go back to your free party, just looking at the pretty much.
Just looking at the scenery, right? And, you know, while I sold Ruby, I went through a funky divorce and the bike had to go, which broke my heart, but I just replaced Ruby with Silver.
Yes, I know. She's so beautiful. I saw pictures.
So pretty. And so for 3 years, I rented for the first 2 years, and for a year I rode on the back. And it was like, I enjoy riding on the back with the right person. Mm-hmm. And, but it was hard for me to get back on the bike, and I'm still riding through a little bit of getting my legs back underneath me. Mm-hmm. Like, so my sober girlfriends actually ride like crazy people. Okay. Because we can't drink or drugs. So we just ride our motorcycles fast. Yeah. So they're going, you know, they're okay. And Mr. Officer, always within the speed limit. I'm talking. We never go over the speed limit. I'm just saying.
Of course.
So I had to ride under the speed limit, shall we say, through the corners. But I said to them, hey, girls, you know what? New bike. I've got a windshield. I just got to ride the back of the pack and ride swing, right? Because, you know, the tail wags the dog a little bit. I'm just going to stay in the back and just get my legs back underneath me. And that's the other thing. Have you learned to ride your own ride?
That's the short answer. The short answer is yes. I learned to ride my own ride on the way to Babes Ride Out last year in California in the desert in the 50, 60 mile an hour winds. That was my learning experience. And I've been one with my bike ever since.
So awesome. So look, we're at the, see, there you go. It's 10:29. I have to go get Jim Guy, but so I want to say that this episode is sponsored by Buddy Stubbs Harley Davidson again. Syndicate Apparel is the hat. Although I did buy this hat, I want to give a shout out because it's just so flippin' awesome. My friend Michelle Bellamy made my necklace. And by the way, during Bike Week here in Arizona, our friends at Deja Cruz gave me this shirt because I knew I'd wear it. Cool. They're playing at Scottsdale Harley Davidson on October 7th at 1:15 p.m. The Counting Crows is. And then the night before Halloween, so the Counting Crows is one version of that group of guys' bands. And then Deja Cruz is playing on Halloween Eve on the 30th. So look them up.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely.
So I'm going to be there. So if you want to hang out with me, you can do that. So Alicia, I'm just super proud of you. I'm super duper proud of you. Thanks for taking some time out to have a conversation with me on the first episode of Relentless Bikers for Relentless Talk Radio.
Yay! Thank you for having me.
And I'll see you soon.
With you again. Yes, definitely. Thank you. Bye.
Have a good day. Bye.
You too.
All right, guys, that's the end of segment 1 of episode 1 of Biker Chicks Unite, Relentless Biker, celebrating the motorcycle culture. I'm going to go and get Lee Geip next, and he's going to talk about the male perspective of loving motorcycles. So come right back.